All right, we are here with author Jay Tunney, whose book, The Prizefighter and the Playwright, concerns a relative, his father Gene Tunney, and the great playwright George Bernard Shaw. And it only took you 10 years to get this written. What was that process like?
It was long.
A long 10 years as opposed to a short 10 years?
Yeah. It was a journey of great length, and it took a lot of patience because it was about a father that I didn't really know. And I had to go look him up, and I had to use my own gut instinct to find him. And I was able, thank gosh, for my mother's long life to almost 101.
Wow.
And she was able to help me tremendously long after Dad had died. And she was able to help me with a wonderful long-term memory. And particularly that period, the period when they first got married.
Did you like what you found?
I did indeed. I found Dad to be just a completely unusual person, and really hard. I was reminded again why I felt that his sons never could live up to him. I was reminded again how remarkable a human being he was. He taught himself an amazing amount of character in the beginning, and I think that's where that was the foundation of it. It wasn't heredity from his father or from although his mother was a wonderful woman, a great Irish lady who was a very noble lady who never complained and did all the work and was the glue to the family. And the father, Dad, was not the same kind of person, although Dad he always said he got his spunk from his dad, got his character from his mother. But he got much more character, and he certainly got enough spunk too, but the character. And so, but I don't think it was heredity. I think it was the environment. I think he realized that the way he was going to get ahead was to form a great character, a man of morality, a man of integrity. To him was the most important thing in life. And it came out as a boxer when he was in the prize ring, and it came out later when he was a businessman.
Yeah.
And that impressed me.
And he came from humble beginnings, not particularly well educated, but ends up extremely well read.
Well read and well friended. He was well befriended. Yeah, he had a lot of friends, and they really liked Gene Tunney. They liked Gene Tunney, but that's right. I think if he had been educated, he wouldn't have been the same vivid.
He might not have gotten into boxing.
That's right, and become a vivid human being to a lot of people.
Now, I know in the book you're able to describe what's referred to as the miracle of Polly in great detail as if you were there, which this is early on in your parents' marriage, and obviously you were not there. Is there a certain poetic license involved in all this, or is this as seen through your mom's eyes and the eyes of others who were there at the time?
I think it was a combination of everything. I think Mother certainly gave me the feeling of Dad's character, the kind of person he was, particularly the way he got along with Shaw. And 41 years younger, and Shaw liked him just like a grandson, or even a son. And I think Mother made that clear to me, and I think she made it clear the kind of person Dad really was. And that drove the point home that he was a man of great honor. And I've talked to some former businessmen, friends of Dad, and they said the same thing. You'd never catch Gene Tunney in an exaggeration or a lie or something like that to advance his own cause. He wasn't that kind of a person. He had this terrific sense of morality about him. Shaw did too, you know, Shaw was full of that. So I think Shaw felt that in the younger man, Gene.
It's difficult nowadays to imagine a relationship of a great boxer and a great writer coming together. I just don't see, you know, a connection, you know, especially someone of a literary nature. It'd be one thing if a guy's more a rough and tumble sort of writer, weaving his way into that world or into a relationship with a fighter. But, you know, here's the great, if not the greatest playwright, forging a relationship with what some people say is the greatest heavyweight champion.
Yes.
And not even members of the Tunney family have said that. You know, out there are people outside the Tunney family who have that opinion.
I think Shaw looked at boxing in a different way, in a more of an intellectual way. I think he felt more like the ancient Greeks, that it was almost a religious ceremony. The Greeks felt, because they put mind and spirit into it as well as body, that it was like a religious ceremony, like, well, what the Olympic Games became. And it's still considered that way. You try to get the mind and the spirit of the athletes as well as the body. And I think Shaw looked at it that way. And I think Shaw looked at it as a boxing as a metaphor for self-preservation in life, and if not self-transformation in life. And this is an important thing. He used it that way. He looked at it that way. So it wasn't just a brutal sport where they go after each other. He made it more lofty in that way. He intellectualized it greatly.
Now, will the fight fan find your work satisfying? Will there be enough knockouts or bruised?
It's a good question, Elliott. It's a good question. The fight fans are likely to see how boxing makes their kids, if the kids are in the gym now, or maybe they themselves have been in the gym, they find that boxing helps them with problems in life, the ups and downs of life, the vagaries of life. It helps them withstand them better. It just does. You get in great condition, and it just is the way you feel more vital, you feel more alive, you feel stronger. And this is good. This is a very positive thing about the sport of boxing. But it doesn't get into the other, you know, why the great fight fan in America loves to see the prize ring and brutality and blood spilled. It doesn't get into that.
But this obviously adds many dimensions to the world of Gene Tunney.
It does. And I have a long count chapter that is the best around. It's the one that enlivened Chicago, the whole city of Chicago, because Dad was almost beaten. He was down for the count of 14 or 15. Everybody says, good God, what was that about? And then Dad gets up and takes Dempsey apart and sends him into retirement, permanent retirement. He did that all in Chicago. And it gave Chicago a new life. This was done at Soldier Field. This is the greatest sporting event of the 20th century. And it helped Chicago in a way to overcome the reputation that it had gained from people like.
Right. Well, you know, and it always had been battling the fights at Yankee Stadium like that, where the
Right.
big bouts were. And
Right.
all of a sudden, okay, we're legit.
Exactly. You're exactly right. That's a lot what happened.
Now, in the 21st century here, we see books turned into movies. Can you envision the Prizefighter and the Playwright ending up on on movie screens?
I don't know. Maybe it would be more given to a documentary film. It may be more given to a live stage play. I just can't think of it so much as a feature film coming out of you know where. I just can't think of it because it's an internal relational.
It's much more subtle.
It's a much more subtle thing than the screen can capture, unless you're a European avant-garde type of director or something.
Well, it would be interesting to see George Bernard Shaw and Gene Tunney as a play rather than a play by George Bernard Shaw.
Yeah.
And I think.
Yeah, I think maybe you're right. I do think.
So
I've been asked though.
I was going to say, you up for writing a play?
I don't know if I am. To be honest with you, I really don't know. I can't. I just can't envision it. I've been told by somebody that's in the game pretty strongly that I really should consider doing it because it can be done. It can be done. Even if you've never done a play before, if you can do this book,
Right.
I could probably do a play, but I don't go along with that. I'm not sure.
It's sort of a different skill set.
It's a different skill set. Exactly.
You
And
know,
I don't know if I have.
It's working with words, but in a vastly different environment, I would think.
I would think so.
Probably something you could do, but it wouldn't be as easy as writing a book.
Yeah.
Not that writing a book is easy.
Yes, I follow.
And we would hope if you did a play, it wouldn't take 10 years.
Exactly. No, that's exactly it. This was a special research that had to be done. I just had to do. I went over, to Croatia and England and Ireland to follow it where he was, where he came from, to get the atmosphere. I had to.
I'll assume nobody else could have written this book.
I don't think so, because I also had my mother.
Right.
And I had our own family archives, letters, and although those letters were public, I had a lot of stuff that wasn't public, like photographs. There's an awful lot of photographs that have not been seen before and are treated very well historically by the publisher in this book.
Alrighty.
Pages are all duotone.
Excellent. All righty. Well, thank you very much for your time. Good luck with the book. And have another one coming out anytime soon, work that you're working on? Or are you taking a break?
I'm taking a break for now, but I've got some things swirling around.
Excellent.
Thank you, Elliott.
Thank you.